Hi, I'm Nathan Nosnik with the Grace Company, and I'm excited to be back with you today. I would like to talk specifically about attaching the fabric to the Q-Zone hoop frame. Again, you can watch, we have videos that talk more specifically about putting the fabric on, but I'm going to go ahead and attach the fabric to the frame. I have a little bit of an extra backing. This allows us to not have to use leader cloth, and I'm going to use this part to attach it to the frame. I want to make sure that my machine can go all the way to the side and that it doesn't hit the edge. So I do know that this is good on left to right. And I'm also now just going to clip the fabric on the top and again make sure my fabric is nice and prepared, ready for quilting. Once I've clipped this, I'm just going to create a little bit of tension by simply rotating these a little bit. Create a nice little bit of tension on that. Put my side clamp on, and we're ready now to start quilting and walk through how we move from one zone to another. I do want to point out the workspace that I'm going to have with my sewing machine. One thing I like to do is just take a piece of thread. I'm going to pull my machine to the front, and you actually see I got that pretty good. I'm going to move down here to the side. I'm going to put that across so this gives me the visual break so that I know when I'm getting close. And so this gives me my workspace. Okay, here we are. We're going to go ahead and move to a new zone. I'm going to remove my clips and simply adjust by pulling my fabric across the surface. And I would want to lift up my machine's foot so there's no pressure here. I do want to make sure that my thread has been trimmed. I did do a couple back and forth tie-offs in order to make it so that I won't have to worry about that coming unthreaded. So again, I'm just going to go ahead, pull off our clips. Some people will stand up to do this as well. I'm going to just stay seated. You can see how this process works even from a sitting position. I'm loosening the clamps from the throat of the machine here, so I'm going to pull those off. I did have one side tension clamp. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. I'm simply going to just pull this across. And you'll notice it's not very difficult. It glides very easily. I do want to make sure that in my next zone that my machine can get all the way to the end so that I can finish this off. I'm going to go ahead and reclamp this back on. There is no right. You can start left or right or center. And I'm going to go to the middle here. You might wonder, how do I know where it is? If I actually put my hands on the frame, I can feel these bungees. I can actually feel those. I'm just simply putting my hands on here and I can feel that I have a bungee right here. So I'm going to attach that. We're going to come over here and we will then attach this edge so that it's on there. We'll place the two front clamps back on. How I do this, again, is an open hand, so I'm not necessarily clamping or putting a lot of pressure. I simply will just push down. It'll pop on. We'll move over here. Same thing. We'll add a little bit of tension like we did when we put that quilt on. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to take our bungee to bring this into the edge. This actually slides right over the top of that, and then that's one of the things that keeps it here. Add a little bit of tension. There's my side tension. We can use two. We do have two for either side. The last thing I'm going to do before I am ready to begin quilting again is I am going to quickly note and try to find out how much space I have. Last time I just simply grabbed a piece of thread in order to hold that across the frame. So I'm going to bring my machine out. I want to put this just a little bit in front of that, and I'll just kind of come down here to my left. We'll do a check. I think we're good. Go ahead and get my clamps back on. Again, wind this up. You'll see as this gets larger, as we get down a couple more rows, this will build up, and I'll talk about how we can continue to quilt with more space by keeping the fabric up on top of the rail. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple back and forth stitches, and we're now ready to move to the next section. I'm going to go ahead and shift it and re-roll the fabric in order to move to my next area. Now, it looks like I'm getting close to the end. I'm going to go ahead and do a tie off here, but I'm ready now to go ahead and shift the fabric again and move to the next area. As we get down to the end, I'm going to be finishing part of this last row, and we're going to move here to the very end one. I did pin base the bottom of this once I now have it up on the surface so that I can hold it in place. We did work through the entire quilt. The fabric was wider than the frame, whether it be a small throw, whether it be a queen, whether it be a king. This frame allows you to take that across the entire surface, regardless of your machine. Again, this allows you to take that domestic machine and convert it into a quilting system. I always say right now, eliminate the struggle with the fabric, and that is the biggest and the best thing that this Q-Zone hoop frame does, and it does it all in about a 4.5 foot space. If this has been of any value to you, give us a like, share it with others. With other questions, feel free to call our 800 number, 1-800-264-0644. Again, feel free to give us a call so we can help assist you.